Rolling.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anand Raja, and I'm a solutions engineer and technical evangelist with Infragistics. Today, we're going to be looking at the Infragistics XAML controls. So we'll start with WPF, and then we'll end with Windows 8. So let's get started here. First of all, I just want to give everyone an introduction to Infragistics. For those of you who haven't heard of us, we are a controls vendor. We've been around for about 20 years. We have a services division as well as a products division. And our products division focuses on UI controls. So let's take a look at our WPF offerings. What I'm going to do is start with WPF, and I'll walk through some of our more interesting controls, some controls that I think that you'll be able to start using and really make your apps pop. And then after that, we'll go into Windows 8. I'll show you some of our Windows 8 beta controls and a demo app called Running Total. It's the same app that I actually did a demo for Visual Studio, so you can also catch the demo on the Visual Studio channel. YouTube channel. Okay, let's start with the Gantt chart. So if any of you are writing any applications that require the Microsoft project type of Gantt chart, you can plug and play with our Gantt chart without reinventing the wheel. So our Gantt chart is completely stylable rather. I'm just going to scroll through some of the themes. Let's go check out the Metro theme. Here's the Metro theme here. And again, if you're used to using our controls, or even if you're not, the APIs are very straightforward, very intuitive, and it doesn't take much time at all to get up and running with this Gantt control. You basically just drag it on your surface, your design surface, and you can start with our sample code, and you can quickly modify it to get it working in your app. Now we're going to go look at the barcode. So here's our barcode control. Very handy control here to use if you have an application that requires barcodes. So here with our barcode control, you can generate any type of barcode on the fly, programmatically. Let's take a look at styling too. So as with our other controls, styling is a piece of cake. So I'm just going to toggle through those styles again. That's our default theme. It's very subtle. And here's the Office theme. So that was the barcode generator called the XAML barcode control. Now I'm going to open up our Barcode Reader. So let's take a look at this. Let's see how it works. So with your Barcode Reader, you can programmatically read data from any type of code. So whether it's a barcode, a QR code, etc. So let's test this out. What I'm going to do is just point to an image and then click decode image, and in this area right here, we're going to see what data was contained in this QR code. So let's go ahead and open an image. I'll use this one for my desktop, and just a standard QR code, and let's decode it. There we go. So you can see that the type right here is QR code, and this is the data. Okay, move forward to another control. The calendar control is always handy. We have a day view, a week view, and a month view. It is stylable and customizable as well. This is our carousel list box. Really nice if you want to give your end users a carousel-like look and feel. It's very easy to use. So I'm just toggling through to move it around. It supports editing. It's fully configurable. So here we're just using a different template. here's our carousel panel. So if you look at this, you can see the reflection off the bottom of each object. So those are some nice visual effects that you get right out of the box with this control. And again, fully stylable, fully customizable. You can create your own templates. And we'll take a look at the ZAM data card next. So this is our data card control. It allows you to create an Outlook contacts experience or any other type of presentation for cards. So here what I can do is I can customize the header. I'm going to pick the field of the object that we want to use for the header. So here we're using the name, salary, and email. Just to show you some of the things that you can customize with it. This little example here shows you how you can programmatically configure the space between cards. I'm just adjusting the space here. You can see it move. Let's go to another carousel control. It's the data carousel. And let's look at some of the themes. I'm just moving through each theme here so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Next is the chart. So we support over 50 different types of charts here. Let's take a look here. So we support any type of financial indicator that you might need. This is a sample financial chart. This is in the candlestick display mode. Here I'm just adjusting the data so you can see what that might look like. Here's our scatter chart, and it is zoomable. I'm using my mouse here, but it does support pinching and touch. Here's a high density example. So I'm going to zoom in here, get really close. Use my mouse wheel to go backwards. We'll go through some of the other types of series. Bubble, here's your polar series. We've got many different types of this series. That was a spline area. This example here shows you multiple series in one chart. And this shows you how to customize your trend line. So this shows you some of the elements that you can configure. And as with all of our samples, you can easily browse the XAML code, the C# code behind, if there is any. You can feel free to cut and paste the snippets, and you can get up and running pretty quickly. Let's check out the ZAM grid now. This is one of our most popular controls. Just about every type of application needs a grid, right? Okay, so let's take a look at some of the advanced features here. I'm going to show you what the Outlook Group By feature looks like. So what the Outlook Group By allows you to do is give your users the Outlook type of group by functionality without writing that code. So here's what it looks like. Let's say here's my chart, Anyway, here's my grid. Here's the standard data in here you see. We're just displaying some information from the Northwind database. So if I wanted to group by city, for instance, I just take city, take the header, drag it up here at the top, and boom. Now everything is grouped by city. I'm gonna remove that. And now let's try to group by country. Let's see what that looks like. Go up here, group by country, so you can see I have a nice roll up. I can drill down into it. But at a high level, I can just take a look at all my countries and see how many I have per item. Yeah, this is really nice because most of your business users are going to be used to Excel, Outlook. These are UIs that they're very comfortable with. So by providing them a similar sort or a group by feature, it really makes your app a lot more usable. Okay, let's move on to another control. I'm going to show you the Excel engine. It's not really a control, it's more of a component. So here's how it works. You use it in conjunction with any of our grids. So basically, you have a grid with your data, and you want to provide your users with an easy way to export this to Excel. Now you could do it programmatically, right? And you iterate through every one of the values and construct that Excel file. What's really nice about our component is that your end user doesn't even have to have Excel installed. So most of the applications that you see that do this, they use the Microsoft libraries, which forces your end user to have those libraries installed. So this is really nice. Everything's done natively. So what we've done is we've reverse engineered the Office files, and we figured out how to construct a native Excel or Word document. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and tap Export. And let's give this file a name. And you're going to see all the data. This is all the data from the grid. You can see how quick that was. It also supports colors and formatting too. So any of the formatting that you've done with your headers will come through. Let's see if I have another. Here's an example here. So here we have some shapes, right? Let's say you have some shapes in your application and you want to actually export these to Excel too, along with your data. I'm going to export this. We'll see how this looks. Just exported that. And here, you can see that the shapes came through too. So not only can you do data, but you can use our engine to export shapes as well. Let's check out our gauge control next. I'll show you some of the theming too. So here's a standard gauge control. And I'm going to just iterate through all the themes so you can see how the different themes make the control look. You can also author your own themes. So this is the ZAM gauge control. Let's look at the map control next. So our map control is very handy. It plugs and plays with cloud, with Bing Maps, with OpenStreet. Zoom in here, zoom out. This is a pretty slow internet connection, but you can see it's pretty snappy. It works with custom mapping files as well. So if you wanted to create, let's say, an airline seat checking or a seat picker application, you could do that. You could actually use your own maps, and we would plot that information accordingly. It shows us binding to some weather data here. Let's see what it looks like in Florida now. Looks like South Florida is pretty sunny. It just gives you an example of some different things, or different data points that you can pull in. Let's move on to the next control. We're going to look at the org chart control. So this control is very handy at displaying any type of hierarchical data. So it's called the org chart control, but you don't necessarily have to use it for an organizational chart. It works well with anything that has a parent and child relationship. So here is just our sample default theme. You can see you can collapse. Oops. I think we're frozen here. But you can collapse and expand and zoom in and zoom out. So what I'm doing is I'm using my mouse wheel to zoom in. There we go. Let's look at a few of the different themes here. There's a default theme. Let's go to the metro theme. So this is the org chart control. We'll take a look at the pie chart next. This is our pie chart, and what you can do is programmatically adjust the radius factor, start angle, exploded radius rather. Very straightforward API. It's very simple to use. Our pivot grid is also very popular. With the pivot grid, you can actually point to a variety of data sources. SQL Server, it could be Excel, it could be a queue. And what you can do is allow your user to slice and dice the data as they choose. So here's the average use case. A lot of times you get users coming to you and they want different reports. They want to see the data in different ways. They want it sliced one way, or they want it, let's say, ordered by product, or they only want to see information for one particular product, let's say. So you can give them an application with this control on it and point it to your data source, and we'll naturally and programmatically go through the data and present this type of interface to your user. It's very intuitive, very easy to follow. So here I can filter by seller as well. Here I can filter by product. Nice little roll-ups here. One second. Computer's a little slow at responding. Next, we have the tile manager. Take a look at this really quickly. So this is our tile manager control. If you have any apps that use tiles, or you'd like to use tiles, integrate this type of look and feel with your app. It's very handy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add tiles. Now this is programmatically going to start adding tiles. And you can see the transitions that we use as we do this. These tiles are movable as well. Move a tile. And get a closer view of the information in each tile. So we remove all the tiles, just add them again so you can see the transitions. So that's the tile manager control. And before we move to the Windows 8 controls, we're going to end with our timeline control. This is a unique and very useful control if you want to visualize data over the course of time. So in this example here, what we're doing is we're looking at key events affecting photography, in particular the movie industry. So what you can do here is, all you do is create your events, right? Anything that you want to display, and associate each event with a certain date. What we do is we'll create this timeline and provide you with a nice scroll on the bottom so you can actually hone in, or your end users can actually hone in on a particular date. So let's say I want to see everything. I can go ahead and expand this, and I can get a bird's eye view at all of the key events that took place from 1887 to 1913. But if I'm only interested in, let's say, from let's say I'm only interested in this small little chunk, I can just zoom in. And again, it's fully stylable and themable. So here, we're using a custom template to show you the different presidents. So again, the timeline is just it's at the bottom, and instead of an event, we're just showing you who the president is at within each time period. Here's another example. Different background image. So you get the point here. And now we're going to take a look at our Windows 8 controls. So we just released a beta version of our Windows 8 controls. We did that during build. So we're going to go take a look at those apps now. We'll take a look at a sample app using our controls. So this is a native Windows 8 application. It's called Run Total. And you can download this from our website, Infragistics.com. You can get the source code and look at all the particulars. So this uses a few of our controls, and let me show you what it does. Basics of this. It will keep track of all of your running data, the amount of runs, the number of runs per month, the amount of miles you went, and even the altitude. It'll even track your route as well. So let's take a look at this guy here. So what you can do is go to any particular month. So let's take a look at June. So what we're doing is we're using our chart to map out each one of the instances of a run. So on the 15th, let's drill down into this. So this is the run I took on June 15th. And what you can do here is you can scroll across the bottom of the chart, and you can see the elevation at each point that you're at. So this is a nice integration between our map control and our chart control. So again, this map control is very similar to the map control that you saw in WPF. And all the controls that you're seeing here are all XAML-based. Let's go up here. You can also drill down this area as well. Using the map control, I'm using the wheel right now to do some zooming. Again, the internet connection is really slow, so it looks a bit choppy, but not too bad. Okay, so let's wrap up here. That's the last item I had to show you. Please come back to our sessions. That'll be in just a few minutes for HTML5 controls.